Hey, it's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Hey, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about today, but there's a lot of stuff going on in pro wrestling. And we are going to try to talk about as much of it as we possibly can. But I do know one thing is for certain. I cannot wait because I had a burning question for Tom. So pour yourself a drink, pull up a chair, come hang out, and let's talk some wrestling. Right after.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Oh, hi.
Feels roomier than it usually does.
Can kind of stretch out a little bit, you know.
I got a much bigger box. That's what she said.
So Tom and I just decided that we're going to start a new gimmick, and we can talk about it because Derek's not going to ever see the beginning of this.
No.
So we're going to start the show every week on time at 7:30 and with or without Derek. And then we're just going to roll into it. And we're going to have a championship of some sort where the winner gets to have the championship. We're going to do over under on how long it's going to take Derek to join the show every week. And whoever's closer gets the belt.
I like this a lot.
And it'll just be a me and Tom thing, and then we can kind of talk about whatever the hell we want until Little Dick Derek decides to join us.
I like this a lot. This is going to be a really fun gimmick that Derek's not gonna know what it is. One day, one of us is just randomly going to be wearing a title, and he's not going to think anything of it.
No.
Until it switches
yes.
a couple times, and then he's going to be like, all right, what the hell? Maybe he'll figure it out.
He'll probably be like, look, you got a belt, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it might take him. We could over under how long it takes him to figure out the belt too.
Yeah.
I'd go with 6. It'd probably be 6 months. That could be the WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it could be. Yeah.
This is the new shtick, pal. I'm into it.
This is the new shtick. So what do you think? I'll let you go first. How long do you think it's going to take him? It's already 15 minutes. So
I'm going to say 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. See, I'm going to give him an even 8 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock. He'll pop in. Sorry guys. Sorry. I had to cut the grass and poop the dog. And
there was some guy picking berries in the hauler. You know, I mean, who knows what
my internet sheep just stopped working.
Bah.
Yeah, something like that.
Or I don't know how to mute my microphone.
Bong!
Or my audio is not working. I don't know what to do. You know, I mean, it'll be something. I can't wait. The excuse pot's too deep.
It is. It's way too deep
for that to be a thing, right?
We'd never guess that. So there was wrestling.
Yeah, there absolutely was wrestling. Listen, I got a really important question for you, and I had to open the show this way. So did you watch AEW Dynamite this week, bud?
I surely did.
Because listen. I have to know. How pissed were you that they bookended the show with massive amounts of blood?
So, not pissed. Pissed is the wrong word because I wasn't mad at it. And I wasn't surprised either. I was certain Mox and Jericho was going to be blood because, I'll get to that in a minute. And then when it happened during Darby, and it was a coffin match, and when it happened during Darby and Brody King, I went, blood already, huh? Because this was like 8:25.
I don't even think it was that deep.
It wasn't even that deep in the show.
8:09.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty early in the show, and I'm like can we bleed before 9 o'clock? Is that a thing? And Brody King had the crimson mask, buddy. I mean, he was crimson masked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it was
was
a lot.
gusher for sure.
It was a lot of blood. I don't know that I saw him blade, but you don't bleed like that without blading. So how pissed was I? I wasn't pissed. It was actually like more like funny, really, because they stole like, not that like it's not Mox's gimmick at this point, because like everybody, there's always blood in a Mox match now, which is
I saw a meme today of Mox sitting in the corner with the AEW championship over his shoulder, right? Just fucking covered in blood. And it was like, Dean Ambrose is long gone and dead. Forever live John Moxley. It's like, bro, come out of your mom's basement.
Seriously. I mean, so one, my first thought was that they stepped on the championship match, which, truth be told, Chris Jericho versus John Moxley, even at this point in time, is a pretty great main event. And I'm not here to say it was a terrible main event. It was a pretty... Hey,
I was...
Derek in the dark.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Derek.
This is some bullshit.
We just started.
What's some bullshit?
We just started. We figured you'd join us when you could.
This circle that creates the light, I don't understand.
Oh, that's why you're Derek in the dark.
Yeah, I had a really interesting story about why I was late, but it's kind of past time. We'll leave that at the end for bonus footage. You would never ever imagine this shit happening.
I think I might.
Anyway, so wrestling happened.
Anyway, wrestling.
Listen, please tell me that somebody was picking berries in the hauler.
It's better than berries.
Okay, all right.
They were picking something, but not in a nasty way. They were foraging for some items.
Yeah,
in the nature.
Good for them. Good for them. Go ahead.
We'll talk about it.
Anyway, so my first thought, like I said, was they stole the gimmick from the championship match from the main event. So it's like they bled in the first match, so that like sort of makes the blood in the final match. It's like, well, we've already seen blood once, so now that you're showing it, it's just sort of a repeat. It's like if a band opens and closes with a song, you know what I mean? It's like, do you open with, your cover of One, and then finish with like a slightly different acoustic cover of One, like from Metallica? I just went to Metallica, so we're going to talk about Metallica. But it was sort of like that, right? Like, what a bloody rager, and then at the end, what a bloody rager. And then I thought more about it, and it's like Blood and Moxley matches are sort of just default now. So like if he's on the card and like, can nobody else ever bleed because he's going to be on the card pretty much every week because he's the champ. And then, nobody else can whatever, interim champ. I think he's just the champ at this point. Just calling him the interim's I hate interim.
He would fight you for calling him the interim.
I feel like interim championships, as far as AEW is concerned, is so stupid. And they really should just, like, if they can't defend the title, they have to vacate it. And then, the champion is vacant.
I could get behind that, right? Because listen, like, this is the second time now that this has happened, that they've created an interim championship. And like, I don't know, man, like and
then Sammy carried 2 belts around for like 6 months, and it was stupid.
Listen, CM Punk or Moxley is not going to do that. So
we're
good
not
on that.
I hope not, but that was stupid. So,
but you know what? The whole thing is though, too, Tom, and I think Derek's probably going to disagree with me. They need their championship on television.
They do.
So like, this is their answer without fucking over the guy that worked his ass off to get to that spot to be the world champion. And I'm talking specifically about CM Punk. There was a lot of us that doubted CM Punk having the ability to have this title run. And now he's got the foot thing, and he had to step out, and he earned his chance there because nobody thought he had it. You know what I'm saying? But like, you still need to have your championship on television at this point if you're AEW.
You're right. And as far as the championship stuff is concerned, I think the belt is on the right man right now. I think that Mox coming back from rehab.
But I didn't think he was a top guy.
Well, hold on, because he did. So, God, how do I say this? Like, he wasn't a top guy, and then he went through rehab, and he came back, and he built himself back up to be a top guy.
But he's still doing the same stupid shit he was doing before. Now he's just
he is now, sort of. He wasn't for a minute. Lately, it's been kind of the same stupid shit over and over. But with the title belt on him, and then he fought Chris Jericho, and that was fine. So I think that was all fine, and they laid the seeds last week for storylines in AEW that was good. But it's back to the blood. They need to get that sorted because everybody can't have the same gimmick of like, oh, we're going to bleed every match. Why? What's the point then? I feel like it's such a diluted, like, non-thing anymore because it happens in every match.
DDT of AEW.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are nitpicking just the most.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
Guys, come on.
Absolutely not.
We're not.
Absolutely not.
Bleeding is not that sacred at this point. It's not like it's
clearly. But it's not
obviously
been on television in fucking 12 years, bud.
Okay,
so,
well, now it's back.
Don't ever use it. You're overusing it at this point.
I mean, probably, yes. I don't disagree with that. But am I as mad as you guys are? No, like, you guys are making a crazy ass one out here in left field of how pissed y'all are about the fact that we're going to get a little color.
I was pissed. Look, the fact you weren't here to start, and Walt asked me if I was pissed, and I said, I'm not pissed. Like, it's comical more to me because they're just like, sort of abusing something that should be, sort of saved for a final blow off kind of match, and it's like every main event gets blood. Every
okay. Can we agree on something then? The first match we saw in Dynamite this week did have blood, but it was much better than the casual, normal blood that we see week to week from Moxley and company.
I was praising the first match. I thought was really good. I think
that was worthy of blood. That made sense.
Truthfully, I almost wish they'd saved that match to like be the main event of Rampage or something because it really felt like it didn't belong where it was. Like it felt like it should have main evented a show. Whereas Mox versus Jericho obviously felt like it should have main evented a show. They just should have done a better restructure of how those were going to go, and I feel like that would have what?
Can I make an observation here that I want no part of any main event for any wrestler that I would like to push at this time because I can't stand Mark Henry. It's time for the main event.
I didn't know that's where you were going with that. I didn't know,
it's. I mean, I would rather be the first match. I'd be a curtain yanker before I was a main event with Mark Henry.
That sounds like a you problem.
Sorry, fellas, but it's the same gimmick every week. I mean, if you guys aren't watching it, then that makes sense.
No,
but as a person who's watching it every week, it's like, damn, okay, I know it's time for the main event.
It hasn't started yet. Their lead-in is also the Big Bang Theory. I don't know how many. That seems like the wrong lead-in to me. The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
At
least Monday Night Raw had La Femme Nikita.
La Femme Nikita.
Oh, that was the rollout.
That's a lead-in.
That was the rollout. That wasn't the lead-in. That was
either side. I'm good with it. I remember that.
The lead-in was the bike cop show that had butts. There were
Chips?
Butts. No,
not
the
chips.
button. not motorcycle. It was Pac Blue, Pacific Blue. That's what it was. Pac Blue.
Pacific Blue. Yeah.
Pacific Blue.
Oh, this motherfucker says chips.
Chips.
Talking about chips.
Way back in way back in 1978, and
what is that? Mario Lopez. What's that guy now? What the fuck's that guy?
No, that ain't his name. Mario Lopez was in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
That was my jam too for a minute.
George Lopez. That's his name.
No, it was not.
No, he's Canadian.
It was not George Lopez.
Why you gotta insinuate he was a Lopez? He's probably a Smith.
It was Eric Estrada. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Eric Estrada. Mario
they're all
Lopez.
the same.
I do think Mario Lopez. I think Mario Lopez maybe had a stint in Pacific Blue. Now that I think
he's
about
in the
it.
remake of Chips. It's coming out in 2023.
He
Oh
was
my
in the
God.
remake of Chips. Actually, that's why I thought that.
Oh, see, there you go. He is
In the
a
movie,
shoe-in.
it was like 10 years ago.
You're telling me
he's
I
a
missed a remake of Chips? I can't believe this.
Oh my God, Derek didn't see Chips. Oh, how'd you miss
I mean,
it?
I saw the OG. I didn't know there was a new one with Mario Lopez.
Of course, you saw the OG. How many channels did you get down there in the holler back in the 90s? 4
2.
or 5?
3.
Couple of them. I mean, so you had
5, 12, and 24 on a good day.
You had your Christian channel.
I went down there. On Sunday night, bro.
You had your Matlock.
They were Christian till about noon, and then they'd play All My Lives
You had your
One Hospital and all that shit.
And your Murder, She Wrote, and your and your
Price is Right. Don't forget, Price is Right came on there at some point.
And your Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, Walt experienced it. And Bonanza. Don't forget Bonanza.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
You fucking shit on Walt Texas Ranger.
That's what a Ranger
confused him.
Gotta be.
There was too many similar things to the bottom box. You confused him.
Oh man, Walker Waltz experienced my struggles
Walker
out here.
Hey, but you know what? Sasha Banks fucking could have used Walker Texas Ranger this week. Did you see her shit got smashed in?
I saw that was like today. Her whole back, like she's like, I've been in Oakland for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you take a candy green fucking Mercedes SUV into the fucking hood.
I mean,
I have no comment on this.
She gets what she deserves.
I have no comment on that, but I mean,
no matter what I say, you guys are going to take it as mean from me because it's about Sasha Banks.
Derek, do you think Sasha Banks is coming back?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I figured.
That's all. But yeah, that's crazy.
I don't see a reason for Naomi to come back, but I'm sure she will too.
I think Naomi
she's probably gonna be in the bloodline.
Yeah, God, that would be be the better.
That's a good point. Yeah. Why not do that?
They need a female presence in there.
Time to freshen it up a bit. It's been the same for
their gang of brotherhood there. Especially if the tribal chief ain't working.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I gave Sasha Banks too much credit. She's got a fucking hunter green Toyota RAV4 that she took into the hood. It looks like it's from 1996.
She tried to blend in.
Now.
She was blending in.
She tried. She tried to.
Listen, she could have bought 4 of those fucking things with the $30,000 she just got to be at fucking Comic-Con.
Oh, and stand 10 feet away from everybody. What the hell was up with that?
Because they're coming back to WWE, pal. They want to make sure that they're good before they hit the bubble.
I tried to bring this up to y'all last week, and both of you shit on me about this.
Is there still a WWE bubble? Like, are they still sort of isolated so that they don't take out a whole locker room with COVID?
I imagine that they're as isolated as they possibly can be, right? Like, I mean, I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and like they're all out there, they're doing things, but they
don't seem to be doing things around people, though.
They're
not wearing gloves. They're shaking hands. They're talking with people.
They're not, though.
They're being bullshit.
It's backstage stuff.
I mean, maybe they just didn't want to get their booties grabbed. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fair.
Dwellers lined up.
Oh, this is what you're going to bring up, really?
No, I mean, truth be told, I mean,
we're scraping the
booty. I'm just saying.
You going to do the prom pose? Would you pay Alexa Bliss for the prom pose?
No,
I've seen that a couple of times floating around the internet.
I'd give her $2,000 for the prom pose. You know what I'm
saying? I give you a couple meals. Yeah.
You'll
be taken care of. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll be taken care of.
So listen, but seriously though, do we think they're coming back? Like, I've got to feel like they're coming back.
I mean, the fact that they're not back yet is actually kind of shocking. Truth be told.
Well, do you know what? Can I give you a scenario? I'm sorry. I'm just fucking full of piss and vinegar.
Maybe Tom would like to talk this episode. Do you ever think of that?
I mean, Tom talks every episode.
It's cool. I overtalk most episodes.
He's feeling neglected.
Hashtag in Tom we trust. Remember that shit, Derek?
Hashtag sad Tom.
But listen. Did anybody think that maybe like whoever wins this women's tag team tournament, right? They're not going to really have any challengers. Why can't Toxic Attraction and Sasha and Naomi come and have a nice little power feud, and then put Toxic Attraction over and break Sasha and Naomi up, let Naomi go to the Bloodline, and let Sasha Banks be it's boss time.
Got to put her on SmackDown then. You got to put her on SmackDown.
Yeah,
like she's. I mean, you don't. I think that makes the most sense. I think you put Sasha on SmackDown, so that it can be it's boss time. I mean, as kind of gimmicky as that is, like nobody does that like Michael Cole does it, and that's got to be a thing that we bring back, right? Like is Michael Cole for the first time in 30 years is over, right? Somehow Michael Cole got himself over 30 years in.
No, Pat McAfee got Michael Cole over.
Pat McAfee did it, yeah. Pat McAfee got Michael Cole over 30 years.
It's funny you bring that up because on Sunday when I was at Derek's house, Derek was like, "How over is Michael Cole right now?"
He's right. I mean, look, it's obvious. It's not a.
Yeah.
It's not a. My observation is not a revelation. It's just he's over at the moment.
It's just fucking hysterical.
It's crazy.
30 years.
It's crazy.
I miss him reading messages from the general manager or whatever that was there for a minute. I liked him as a heel. Like he was honestly like the way he would read it, his cadence. He knew when to deliver the lines. He did a really good job. I liked hating him.
if you'd have asked me, do you think Michael Cole's going to be over 2 years? Like 2 years ago, if you'd have said, do you think Michael Cole might be over in 2 years? I'd be like, what? No, Michael Cole might be fired in 2 years, but he ain't going to be over. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Somehow. Rejuvenated.
Like
Pat McAfee has rejuvenated his career.
Yes, absolutely, and he's given Pat McAfee all the credit about that, right?
Because it's obvious.
Yeah, but Derek did say he was like, "How over is fucking Michael Cole right now?" He goes, "That motherfucker stands up so goddamn much, it's annoying." He was like, probably got used to it because Vince was probably like, "Hey, stand up, pal. What are you doing, lollygagging?" You know what I mean? Like,
you're taking McAfee's gimmick. Don't do that.
Now,
you haven't stood ever until McAfee came.
McAfee gets up on the table.
Oh,
they stopped him. For the longest time, he was getting up. He was just standing on his chair, and he's like, "These chairs are swivel chairs with wheels. You're gonna die."
He fell off the commentary table one night.
He fell off the. Yeah, that's what
I think he was in Cleveland or something. I think it was whenever they were in Cleveland. He was in between commercials, hyping the crowd up. And he got so into what was going on, he fucking fell off the commentary table.
That's funny.
Nice.
Like, he's living his best life. Shout out to Pat McAfee.
I mean, he is living his best life. And truth be told, so to start out Rampage, CM Punk is back, which is good because we're continuing storylines from last week.
Does he have his belt this week?
He does. He has his belt, and he's talking. So he's starting out the show. He's had a microphone in his hands for at least 5 minutes now. And he's waving the title around. I can't hear what he's saying because I've got him on mute. I assume he's saying something about yada yada, I'm the champion, yada yada, Moxley, you can suck a dick, yada yada yada. And then I think, wow, something's happening.
SRS reported today that CM Punk's actually not cleared for contact.
Well,
see, that's funny because I saw the exact opposite report today that he is, but they're just holding him.
So
that was on Wrestling Inc.
I don't think that you
two very notable sources, by the way.
I don't think that you put him in contact right now. Anyway, I don't think it matters whether he's cleared or not. I think.
Well, you're fixing to find out on the old boob tube there to your left.
Sure am. Sure.
No, I'd say he does have a couple weeks though, obviously, of build up and stuff. And I mean,
I think there's going to be a lot of
this out for a minute. We're not going to let him come back in too early. of course, Tom, I'm sure, imagines him getting hurt as soon as he comes out because he's going to do a 16-foot jump off a balcony with a pizza cutter in his left hand and a pane of glass in his right.
So actually, when he walked out, he looked like he was going to dive into the crowd for a sec. He was like, "Not yet."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's funny." Like it gave me a little haha. So anyway, I feel like they can just let CM Punk come out. Honestly, if he wants to start the show and cut a promo every Wednesday, I don't see how that could be a bad thing at all, ever. Really,
Derek, what's the matter?
Do that.
Why is it that whenever he first started coming out, that it was a problem that he's constantly coming out first and cutting a promo on Wednesday?
You're talking to the guy that went and got in the beer line when CM Punk came out on fucking Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I did do that, didn't I?
Both of you.
I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah, but
I went out, saw the line, said, "Nope, I'll see you guys."
I forgot about it.
I came back in for CM Punk.
Hey, I was back.
That turd that him and Dustin laid down.
I was back before that promo was over. They did lay down a turd, man. Did they ever?
I don't remember you being there, Tom.
Yeah, he was there for the match. Yeah, you don't fucking remember.
Do you remember?
You had a top turnbuckle seat.
Like, do you remember you being there? Or did you just float to the?
I was. Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at.
He doesn't remember you being there, Tom, because when he went back to the seats, when he saw the beer line and he sat down, his soul left his body.
Yeah, I was gone. By the time you guys came back, I was just literally hitting up Walt for sips of beer because I needed to wet my whistle. I didn't want no beer. I just wanted whatever was liquid next to me.
You boy like this.
And then I eventually went and found a real nice security lady. I stood ringside to watch, not ringside, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know, 20 rows up to watch Roman come out. And you guys.
Roman?
Yeah.
Where the fuck were you? You make it to Raw or SmackDown? Somehow you left. Somehow
who the fuck did I watch?
Somehow you left Dynamite.
I'm very confused.
Somehow Derek left Dynamite and went all the way to SmackDown and came back. He transported to the future to see the Bloodlines entrance and see
wrestling
Roman
is a hell of a drug.
Acknowledge me.
That's what it is.
Hey,
that got wild.
Speaking of acknowledging Roman Reigns, did you see Stone Cold put him over today?
Nah.
I did not because my work decided to. My work is I'm very not that busy in August, and for some reason everybody knows that. So it's like, let's give Tom his arbitrary shit to do. It's like, oh, what can you mock this up for them so they could see how much this might cost? So I just play with spreadsheets all day. And I don't know if you guys, I mean, Walt, but I went to law school so that I didn't have to do math. But somehow I learned how to do Excel because it just seemed right. And Dungeons and Dragons and like nerd shit. Okay. I know Excel because of money and nerd shit. However, somehow money and nerd shit turned into now it's my job. It's really weird how this stuff comes full circle. It's like, I only know how to do Excel because I've played with Dungeons and Dragons, calculators and stuff in Excel. And so that's my job now. So I did not see Stone Cold because I was busy playing with Excel spreadsheets, which I then have to explain to men who are 10 to 15 years older than me. And it's like, how the fuck are you in finance and you don't understand Excel? Anyway.
Yeah, so
I digress. What did he
Cold.
Say? What did my hero say, goddammit?
He said, well, goddamn, son, I'm going to acknowledge you. You're the greatest to ever do it right now.
Woo! He said that?
Right now.
Yeah.
He ain't going to sell more T-shirts than Stone Cold, but he's trying.
He's he put him over pretty good today. So, I mean, I think that's a case of greatness recognizing greatness, right? Like there's very few things that the three of us agree on, but we all agree on how good Roman's run's been.
It's a recent run, but somehow if there was any sort of comment to be made about his face run,
It's been almost
How long did you need to stuff him down our throats before we finally?
We're obviously talking about the bloodline run, Derek. We're not talking.
Yeah, if the senile son of a bitch would have figured it out a couple years ago, he'd had a nice run previously.
It's been almost 3 years. He's not even like a healer. If he's just
he's
I'm
just
a god
him at this point.
He's like, I'm a god. Acknowledge me. He's not like I'm a good guy. I'm a bad guy. I'm a god. Acknowledge.
A lot of people say he's just him dialed up to 10, like
great
right now, and you know,
phenomenal.
like he's because I mean he just carries himself. He's very confident in his abilities. He knows he's fucking good. You know, Derek was not a big fan of him in the Vest days, right? And I was always like, Derek, man, he's good. Like, nope. I don't know what your problem is with him. Like, he's got a lot of charisma. There's a lot of upside to this guy. Derek, nope. Can't do it. Nope. I mean, now look at us.
So I think the nice thing about him particularly, he's a big boy. He's part of the right family, obviously. I mean, he's a big boy. He's part of the right family. But at the same time, I mean, he's handsome. I think that's the thing that his family struggles with. A lot of them motherfuckers are not pretty humans. He's a handsome man. Can grow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this latest generation of the NOI are handsome fellows. I mean, you got The Rock. He's a handsome fellow. The Usos are good looking dudes.
The Usos are. You're right.
I'd throw down.
The Usos are good. You're right.
I spread cheeks.
They're Papa Quiche. No, he spread some cheeks. Speaking of cheeks, we're talking about cheeks. Anyway, you know, I mean they've been. Yokozuna is actually Roman Reigns' cousin as well. R.I.P. Rodney. Seriously though, how good was Yokozuna? Like looking back on it, like I was too young to appreciate the fucking monster. The monster.
Yeah, I hated that fucking guy.
I was like, fuck this guy. But like,
Derek's got his vodka sippy cup.
If I was, but
actually, it looks like a baby bottle.
It's water.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about. Well, that was a hell of a break.
Sorry, I'm watching.
Tom, next time if you could warn us before you stop talking.
I interrupted him.
I'm watching. He really did. You stopped me. I thought you had more to say. Anyway, so God, where the fuck were we? Oh, Roman. So Roman Reigns, best. He may end up being the best NOI. I think he's already there. I think he's already there.
Yeah. I think he's better than The Rock, your all-time favorite.
As far as champions go, yeah.
Okay.
Character.
Okay. I listen. I no argument from me, pal. Right? Like I think that they're on the same line, man. I really do. And like, you know, the Rock had his catchphrases, right? And like the things that got the crowd going behind him. And I think that that's what Roman's acknowledge me is, right? It's like that, that kind of that callback to the Rock a little bit. And it's like, hey, this is my shtick.
But
I can agree with you guys on that, but I really wish it would be prefaced with of his time. I mean, this is a whole different, you know, like, okay, I get it. You know, Roman, Walt, you made a good point. Rock, you know, with the Rock's cooking and all that. He's had multiple different iterations of the Rock. And yeah, I don't think he's ready yet. I think he has potential to get there. Absolutely.
So,
and that's with me killing him in the beginning. I couldn't stand him once he left the Shield.
Well, so hear me out. It's not so much a like character-wise, The Rock is a better character, and that's just the way it is. But
yes,
Roman Reigns as a champion, it's a better champion. Like that it's turned. The Rock as a champion is not what Roman Reigns is as a champion. It's not. He's not he's not God as a champion.
Yeah.
Roman is The Rock was never the end game. The Rock was never.
Well, Hulk Hogan was also on the other channel.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, The Rock was never the final boss of WWE. Roman is the final boss of WWE. When The Rock was the champion, the championship was still attainable.
That's a great analogy, pal.
When The Rock was the champion, the championship was still attainable, which is why The Rock's like a 14-time champion or something like that. But with Roman as the champion, like, the championship is basically unattainable at this point.
We've not seen a championship reign this long in a long time. We've
not, nor should we have. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like we don't. You get a once in a generation star who just has all the things where it's just like, you can't stop me. I'm unstoppable. I'm just not. You just can't stop me. Truthfully, there's two of those people, but with Roman, it's been so believable.
Yes,
and that to me in wrestling is a big deal.
And he's smashing it.
It's so like when he beat Brock at SummerSlam. Okay, for starters, Brock lifted the ring. I've watched a lot of wrestling. Nobody's ever lifted the ring to like whoop. And like Roman took a tumble out of the ring, and I went,
"Oh, it was great.
That was the best. That's
good.
One of the
really
best.
good.
He sold it really well.
That's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life." And then like, he still won. I mean, granted, they buried Brock and shit. Like, that's kind of cool, actually. Like, they did
after he buried Paul Heyman and shit.
But anyway, no, I mean, it's really a cool thing to witness and watch because it's an old school thing. Champions just being dominant and like unattainable for a long time. And I think the only one living who ever was in that position is Ric Flair at this point, maybe. But even Ric's not really on Roman's level of like. It just wasn't like Ric wasn't as dominant. Like he wasn't stacking him. No. Look. Ric was a heel.
Ooh.
He was by hook crook. I mean Ric cheated a lot too. By hook or by crook, and Ric did a lot of by crook. It's different. It's just a different thing. Ric was a bad guy. Roman's like they've positioned him to be a god, and it's just different. I'm not taking anything away from Ric. I'm just saying
Tom hates Ric Flair.
I'm just saying he's the only one who's still alive. I mean, I guess Hulk Hogan too, although that was stupid looking back on it, brother. It was stupid, brother, looking back on it. But like that's the only thing even comparable.
I'm just surprised that you think that he's a bigger presence than Ric Flair. That's what.
Presence is different than than presentation. So his presentation is more God mode. He's more Roman Reigns is right now being presented as Shao Kahn, the Shao Kahn of WWE. Ric Flair was more Shang Tsung, some sort of a sorcerer, trickster kind of thing. Shao Kahn is the ultimate final boss. I would have also.
I never.
Is Brock Lesnar like Goro?
No. Yes. Absolutely.
The resemblance is too much.
It's too much. Yeah. He's Goro. He's missing a couple arms, but still, it's just bam.
Nice.
So, hey, I gotta ask, Derek.
Yeah.
Is your boy Tony Khan? Is he smoking that good?
No, he's on that powder.
Oh,
that's all.
Because he compared himself to Paul Heyman today.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
I can't defend that. I haven't even seen it, but I can't defend that. What? That's a little bit of insanity, even coming from a business aspect of things.
What?
Especially if you're coming from a business aspect of things, you definitely would not want to compare yourself to Paul Heyman, considering your checks bounce. I love me some Paul Heyman, but is very documented, obvious thing.
So,
no.
Tom.
What?
I cannot believe you didn't see this. I thought for sure this would be something you would be all over.
Buddy, I told you they had me chasing my tail all day
That's
today.
fair.
So I didn't see anything. I'm coming in fresh. However, what? He compared himself to Paul Heyman?
Yeah,
like not a different Paul Heyman, like
no,
hello, my name, like the wise man, like that. Somebody needs a wise man. Okay. Who? No is the only really word that comes to my mind. Tony Khan. I mean, if he'd compared himself to like Eric Bischoff, I'd have been like, okay. Like I wouldn't have agreed necessarily, but like better comparison. Who else could he have compared himself to?
There's a lot of heat between him and Bischoff already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bischoff's not a fan. Even though he's wanting to work for him for a paycheck for a day.
I mean, he totally would work for him. God, Bischoff's what a punk. Bischoff's like,
I don't hate Bischoff. No.
I love
Bischoff. God, he's but he's a punk. I mean, look, you could like punks. It's okay to like punks.
He's a smart businessman. Like, yeah, he knows.
Okay. Anyway,
he'd have more than 30 views a week.
It's true.
Though I love our 30 that we get.
Well, I'm not saying I'm Eric Bischoff. I'm not comparing myself to him. I wouldn't.
Walt's giving me a stare of death. Oh,
Walt's,
it's just
he's reading. Let him read.
It takes focus.
Let him read. Anyway, he doesn't have his glasses on. Let him read. He has to really get into it.
Just sound this shit out, man. Hold on.
I didn't say that. I just went for he's blind. You're like, he has to sound it out. You fuck. Jesus Christ. I'm certain Walt can read. I'm just not sure he can see. You fucking prick. God.
Anyways, Tom, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, I mean, I think he thinks very highly of himself. He has learned a lot as a booker. I hope he's learned enough to know that he can be like, you know what? I need to hire somebody who can do this. And I hope he's doing that because, quite frankly, bro. No, not him. No.
Did you see that he doesn't? He said that he doesn't understand why everybody thinks that Triple H's Raw is better.
I did see that. Okay, am I allowed to be mean to Vince Russo?
Brett said that.
Russo said that. Yeah.
Am I allowed?
Have at it, bud. Fuck that guy.
Okay, first of all, Vince Russo is like. Vince Russo is the biggest idiot to ever have booked wrestling in the history of idiots who have booked wrestling. Like
he was the right guy for the right time.
No, Vince Russo was the guy to try to.
Kevin Sullivan was, not Vince Russo. Go on, Tom.
We talking about the Taskmaster?
Yeah, he was awesome as a booker.
We talking about the Taskmaster? Anyway, so Vince Russo, yes. But Vince Russo, through the filter of Vince McMahon, was great. Let me make an analogy here. Walt, you like coffee?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vince Russo is coffee, like ground coffee, but Vince McMahon is a coffee filter. You want your coffee to go through a coffee filter, right? You don't want to like.
Are we talking like Starbucks, or are we talking like Maxwell House?
What are
you talking like some real like high end shit? Like
we're talking like a Mr. Coffee on your kitchen counter.
Yeah, we're talking a Mr.
You gonna put a filter in there or not?
We're talking a Mr. Coffee on your kitchen counter. Whatever brand that comes ground that you like, whether it's 8 o'clock or Dunkin' Donuts or Maxwell House or Folgers, whatever tickles your palate. Think of it as that. So imagine Vince Russo is that, but in ground form, right? He's ground up coffee. And then, but you got to put that ground up coffee into a filter. Vince McMahon for Vince Russo was that. He may have been a double filter. He was a filter for that. And then the drip started and it goes through the filter. And what comes out is delicious goodness, right? However, in WCW, and just as a human, as a person, Vince Russo is unfiltered coffee in a drip coffee maker, which basically just creates broken sludge, shit, chewy grounds of mischief. And it's nonsense. It's Viagra on a pole matches. And So Vince Russo by himself is an idiot who doesn't understand anything. However, Vince Russo through a filter, through some other creative ideas, somehow it worked. It worked for a little while. However, they still fired him because his ideas were too asinine.
Tom, do you remember the 90s? Do you remember what was asinine at that point? It was madness, dude.
There was a vampire and a man who ran around in his underpants, and
the guys.
A guy with a 2x4. And
that wasn't Russo though. Russo wasn't there for that.
So I'm saying, like, we had TRL, we had Real World, we had Road Rules, we had reality television. He had to compete with that. I'm not saying that Russo is the your dick. That Russo, was the best character to compete with that. But it was a thing. Like, you had these coming up against you in your time slots for television. We're looking at cable television as, or am I just talking out of my ass here?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Is nobody thinking about the schedule that we would have had?
Listen, you made Tom reach for a beer.
I'm fine with Vince Russo never writing a second of wrestling television ever again.
I'm not asking him to come back, but I'm going to defend what he had because it was a product of the 90s. That's what I'm saying,
dude. That's the point. Is that like, do you want Vince?
I didn't get that point because you talked for 20 fucking minutes, and I don't know what you're saying by the end of it.
I thought you were taking notes.
I'm sorry, your attention span. Look, man, I'm sorry. You have the attention span of a gnat. Nobody wants Vince Russo to come back to write any fucking wrestling moving forward. I never want to see a Vince Russo written wrestling show ever again in my like I would prefer watching like more Vince McMahon written wrestling shows than I would watch a single.
Really, bro?
Yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, I would watch a Vince McMahon written wrestling show.
I would watch a Vince Russo show for about 6 weeks and be entertained, and then I'd be kind of pissed off and wanted to change. But I would at least give him 6 to 12 weeks.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than watch one.
You're stupid.
Oh, so we're resorting to name calling now.
Yeah, that was low. I'm sorry, Tom. I apologize.
Wow, go tell your daughter that she's a fish and get your ass back in here, okay?
So Brian Danielson's first match back is against the what's this fucking guy's name? The Dragon Slayer.
Daniel Garcia.
God, has anybody less over?
He wears a Kangol hat. He's got reputation.
Daniel Garcia is, I mean, God, what a fucking chooch. What a fucking chooch. I mean, Daniel Garcia is a chooch. I got nothing to say other than Daniel Garcia is a chooch. For some reason, Brian Danielson's like, yeah, I'm going to wrestle Daniel Garcia. Although he is the most uncharismatic, white bread. He is the amount. He has less charisma than Wonder Bread toast. Like at least
Wonder Bread toast. Put a little.
At least. No. There's nothing on it. At least Wonder Bread toast is a little bit crunchy, right?
Okay.
He is untoasted Wonder Bread. This guy.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
He is a soft mush shit in your mouth is what he is. Wow, there's no flavor here. This is how white people is. This must be what white people taste like. This tastes like nothing. Fuck. Anyway, so AEW so far, they continued on with their main event feud, which is Mox versus CM Punk, which is fine. Like clearly that was what was coming, and they did that. That's what kicked off the show. They faced off. They broke them up. Good stuff. Okay, no problems. However, this has nothing to do with anything that happened last week. I'm glad Bryan Danielson's back. I'm sure this match, if I was paying attention, would be adequate.
2 out of 3 falls.
Like I said, I'm sure it would be adequate because I like both. I like Bryan Danielson, and Daniel Garcia is a good enough wrestler. He's just like the wonder bread of human.
No, that's fair.
He's not. There's nothing interesting about him at all, other than like he's kind of pretty good at wrestling, but otherwise his charisma level is 0. I just can't go below 0. His charisma level is 0. So we were talking about what?
Well, we were talking about Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, fuck him. He shouldn't write wrestling ever again.
No.
And I wouldn't watch it. Nobody would. In fact, if anybody wanted him to, he would have. However, nobody's hired him in over a decade because he sucks. It's just he's not good at this.
No. And here's my thing. Like, as like I scroll, and I look at all this stuff, it's always like, oh, former head of creative or former WWE writer or WWE writing legend or like whatever, right? Like, why do we continue to give this guy fucking time and attention?
Well, so the dirt sheets refer to him like that because if they said Vince Russo said, nobody click on that because Vince Russo's an idiot. Fuck him. Like, you wouldn't click on that, but it's like former WWE writer. It's like, who? Okay, let me click. And then once they read like 2 sentences and figure out, oh, fuck, it's Vince Russo, they shut it off. They stop. It's over. It's almost like it's a greater extent to like, it's like him and Disco Inferno are like the 2 guys that are like, hey, let's see if we can have the worst wrestling takes on the internet and have a podcast that maybe people will listen to because we were famous-ish 30 years ago. It's such like bottom feeder, low level nonsense, and it's clickbait, it's bullshit, and it's you can't like
shock jocks.
I don't want to give credence to this stuff because it's like they're below Mark Madden as far as I'm concerned, and Mark Madden to me is like bottom tier wrestling commentator. Like he's like Pittsburgh, like comment on the Steelers and the Penguins. Like I put more stock in Mark Madden's like thoughts on the Penguins and the Steelers than I do on Mark Madden's stock on wrestling because like Mark Madden in wrestling was pretty terrible. Except actually, if you go back and watch the Viagra on a pole match, that's Mark Madden's best called match ever. Because he's just a string of dick jokes, and like it's just you can tell he knows this is like this dumpster is on fire, and he's gonna make fun of this dumpster throughout the whole. God, it's like a 20-minute match. It's a really long match. Yeah. But that's Mark Madden's greatest contribution to wrestling.
I've been hung up on by Mark Madden more times than I care to count. Okay. All of his takes are shit. This motherfucker tried to defend Bo Bennett at one point. I'm just not having that, sir.
Nobody had it. I mean, Bo's been gone for a long time.
Oh, like 6-7 years now.
Bo don't play hockey. Bo don't know hockey. Bo Bennett's only like 31 years old or some shit like that. Like he should be in the prime of his.
Still on the Devils, if I'm being honest.
I think he's in the AAA team, maybe not the like. I'm gonna look this up because I'm kind of curious. But anyway, what's our next topic here, homie? What's the because now like Vince Russo doesn't deserve any more of our time. or
No,
anybody's
not
time
at all.
really.
But I just, I tend to not give that guy too much of my time. But like, I just thought that it was interesting that like the entire internet world, the entire wrestling world is clamoring over the changes that have been made to WWE television, and this fucking Chooch, as you call him,
Man, is he ever? Like Chooch is nice. Like
doesn't see the positive change. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I also don't understand why Ezekiel's just racked up right now. Like, what did he ever do to anybody?
So I think I have a feeling on. I think I have thoughts on this. So Ezekiel, while that's a crazy good, while that was a crazy good gimmick, I feel like that has sort of run its course.
Yes,
and so it was time, rightfully so, and smartly so, to put Ezekiel on the sidelines. And we saw the picture, and you can see my name tonight is Ernie Senior. Ernie Junior gave a great had a great promo on Monday Night Raw this week.
he sure did.
He sure did. God, if anything that guy can do, if anything that family can do, that glorious Pittsburgh wrestling family, if anything they can do, they can certainly talk. And so I think they've put Ezekiel up for now. I do think he's on the shelf thanks to Kevin Owens. I think we get another Elias run.
I think so.
Maybe we see a little Elrod run. I think that Elrod is the one with the mustache in that picture.
Yes.
Yes. I think that's Elrod. I think maybe we see Elrod, like, because it takes like 4 or 5 days to grow that mustache. So I think we see that, and
that's
then I think
clearly taped on though.
That's clearly because it was all those like shots were taken the same day, and clearly Ezekiel's like clean shaven, as is Ernie Senior, and the unnamed child and his mother and all those people, like, so that's clearly taped on. But like I think we see a real mustached Elrod like promo or something. He comes out, he hits Kevin Owens or punches, like he interferes a little bit. Is that Elrod? Is that Elrod? And then a few weeks later, once a full beard has grown in, and they may use some prosthetics, or they have really good people. Obviously, it's a multi-billion-dollar company, but like they don't need the full like 8-10 weeks to grow out like that, like the Elias beard. They'll get something, and then he'll come out and he'll do some things, and it'll be like and it'll be this sort of like reaffirm of Elias, but like in Ezekiel's name, right? In my brother's name, walk with Elias. Yeah, it's what WWE stands for God's sake.
Absolutely. Hey, so I think that the biggest thing to come out of this, right, is that we've got Kevin Owens back, man. And
the prize fighter.
How good was that in-ring segment on Monday night?
Kevin Owens versus Drew McIntyre. That was fantastic. Good. That was,
promo before the match.
It was tremendous, and it's one of those things where it's like there are certain things that sort of bleed Triple H, right? Yeah, as we're in this new era of like, because it's like you don't want to change it too much. And Raw's not like, if you were one of the 1.8 million people who are watching Raw, they don't want you to tune in and like see a different show per se. But there are segments that are clearly like, holy shit, like somebody, like this is a Triple H segment, and this is one of them, and it's one of those segments that you can easily like shove into Raw at this point, and it's not like, it doesn't feel out of place at all. It just feels shocking and great. Like it's one of those things where it's like, this is great, like, and And then they got time. I mean, clearly Raw's a 3-hour show, for God's sake.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's easy to give these guys time, and they just give them time. Go.
The match was phenomenal, and like
it was pay-per-view quality. Like that could have been for a WWE title at SummerSlam, and everybody would be like,
that could have been the main event at WrestleMania, and I would have watched it.
Well, I mean, there were commercial breaks in there, and there were like,
just saying.
I agree with what you're saying, but like that could have been, easily a Survivor Series like World Heavyweight Title match, and nobody would have been.
I don't want us to gloss over how great the promo segment was between the two of them.
No, I agree, because promo segments aren't things you get on pay-per-views. So like they get a really good promo segment beforehand, because that's really the bread and butter of the day-to-day, week-to-week television shows. Like that's where the build happens. That's where that's where you lay the seeds. That's where you cut the promos. And the pay-per-views are just where you fight. Right, like that's where it's like here's a match, and they show the little build-up clips of like the best spots. But no, you're right. I mean, it was like we got a great promo and then we got a great match, and it was like, man, did I just get like a build-up promo that clearly has been building a little bit, but did I just get a great build-up and then a great match, and then it's like it's teasing the future? Because like the pay-per-view is already sort of like set in stone, which is also great. Very excited for that. The Clash of the Castle. Very excited for Clash of the Castle.
It's gonna be a good pay-per-view, I think.
I might be more excited for the Clash of the Castle than I was for SummerSlam. I think more might happen at Clash of the Castle than happened at SummerSlam, and here we are now, like just God, it was great. It was. What else do I have to say? That's it. Yeah. It was good.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. I mean,
you got a sandwich.
I didn't get a sandwich.
I wish somebody brought me a sandwich.
So
fucking jealous.
I don't know that I've seen a better segment on WWE television in the last 8 months.
That's fair. I don't know that I have either. Like nothing jumps to my mind. I mean, television. You're talking television, not pay-per-view. Yes. So yeah, no.
I mean, and that's including Roman Reigns and like all of his that like I tune in.
No, because I mean that's very straightforward though. It's very like acknowledge me, acknowledge the bloodline. There's no like that's there's no bullshit there. But this was something different than that. It was sort of like, I don't want to say it was out of the blue because it wasn't that, but it was sort of a new era. It was clearly like somebody kicked, like it felt like the door got kicked open, and this is different now. Things are different, and they're more dangerous.
I really enjoyed the part where like he named off all of these guys, and then KO's music hits when he comes walking out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you didn't mention Kevin Owens. And he's like, oh, yeah, and this one, I'd love this. And he's like, I think it's funny that you didn't mention me. I think that has the potential to be a great feud, even like long term. Like if these guys separate right now after like that initial meeting, and things happen and then everybody gets interweaved and this is for a championship at some point.
Oh yeah, I think this plants a long-term seed that I mean obviously we got a great match out of it like immediately. Like we got some instant gratification out of it, but like we might get some like long-term like out of it as well. You know what I mean? So like long-term for instant gratification plus long-term for a title. I mean that's how you sucker me in. I don't know about anybody else, but like that's how you invest me. These guys are still twisting each other's wrists around. But...
So let me talk about the CM Punk segment earlier because I just read a fucking direct quote from CM
So
Punk's
I didn't.
promo.
I mean, obviously, I saw it happen on TV, but I didn't listen to it because I have headphones on and I'm talking to you.
CM Punk said in his promo, John Moxley is the third best guy in his entire group, reoccurring theme to his career.
So he's talking about the Shield, obviously. Man, I kind of would agree with that. Wow, he wasn't. He went for the throat there right away because
Yeah, sure did.
He ain't Rollins, and he ain't. God, he ain't Roman. Oof, oof,
Ooh,
oof.
I can't wait to watch that when we're done here, bud.
Oof. I mean, it was a nothing burger. Like they just like yelled at each other and like were pulled apart.
But that puts a little bit of gasoline on that fire for me to want to fucking hit the rewind button.
I mean, look, like I said, if Punk's gonna come out there, and you remember the segments with him and with MJF of their like kind of back and forth, mostly on the mic. Like that was like to me that was. The matches were great too, but like to me that was sort of the pinnacle of that whole thing. And just to bring up MJF, like how was AEW fucked up so hard by like not just give MJF what he wants and let
a lot
him
of people
do.
are saying this is a shoot, bud.
It's too long. It's been too long. Like their ratings are suffering because of how long it's been. It's been too long, and if it's a shoot, it's cooling off, and it's been too long.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Absolutely, yes.
It's too much.
You want to know what's too much, bud? Brandy Rhodes made her in-ring return for WWE this week at the WWE Performance Center.
At the PC. Man, if there's anywhere Brandy Rhodes needs to be if she wants to wrestle, it's the WWE Performance Center. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Look, if there's somebody that needs some PC work, it's Brandy Rhodes. And that's, I understand that she understands like maybe kind of how to do a hip toss, but at the same time, like she needs some PC time.
Yes.
And Cody's hurt, and if they're planning on bringing her out and like maybe being around Cody and taking bumps or whatever, let's say Cody's out till the Rumble, right? Like maybe he comes back and wins the Rumble. That seems to be everybody's like kind of thought behind this.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at, right?
Like Brandy could certainly spend August, September, October, November, December, and all of January up until the Rumble and beyond in the PC. And then come out and accompany Cody as, Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes. But now she's got 6 months of like hardcore Performance Center training. So it's like they're not going to put her in main event matches per se, but like maybe she gets.
TK would have.
He did. He gave her like he was like, oh yeah, you lead a stable with Awesome Kong. Anyway, like
that was a thing.
Just to put her out there, like after 6 months at the PC, yeah, okay, now you can like accompany your husband to the ring. Like that's the like thing. Like you need 6 months of training from Shawn fucking Michaels to accompany your husband to the ring. And I feel like that's really where we were.
Speaking of Shawn Michaels, did you see that he said, hey man, Vince and Bruce Pritchard did not have time to come down here and produce television. Like everything that you guys are bitching about has been me.
So, yes, I did, to answer your question. Yeah, I saw that. My thought to that is that Shawn Michaels is not the booking visionary that he maybe thought he was, or like it was fine. AEW 2.0 has been fine.
I feel like he's just fallen on a sword, pal.
I mean, probably, but it's been fine. It hasn't been bad per se, but it's been one of those things where, like, how do I put this? Even it's like if like he's not Shawn Michaels is like he knew how to get himself over, but I don't know that he knew how to get everybody else over.
No, that's fair.
Nor do I know that he learned that. So like he's probably the guy that's like, okay, so and I feel like particularly at the Performance Center, like everybody's looking for coaching on the level of like, get me over, please. And that was, really what Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon's kind of like star talent was like, they would be presented with an idea and they would elevate said idea. With Shawn Michaels, it's like he would probably be presented with an idea. I don't know that he had the ability to elevate an idea, but he would put it out there. And truthfully, NXT 2.0 is not a bad show. It's just
it's not at the top of my priority list anymore.
But it's not a bad show. It's just not like it can be boring. And I just think that like Shawn's not really that caliber of booker per se. Like you can't put that much on him because he's teaching classes. Like he's teaching these kids how to bump, how to do this, how to do that. He's like teaching them like, how to cut promos and things like that. So it's like on top of that, it's like, oh, well, let me put the show together on top of that. And it's just not, it's not his wheelhouse, it just really isn't. And, he could tell people how to cut a promo and how to like be, make it heartfelt. And I feel like they do a good job with that. But at the same time, it's like, he can't teach somebody who's not Shawn Michaels how to get over. Right? Because Shawn Michaels had a lot of help. He had Vince McMahon. He had, Vince Russo for a minute. He had Bruce Pritchard. He had all these people like helping.
Ryan Gewirtz.
Yeah, him too. But he just had all those people like just getting people over. And like, now we sit at this spot of like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like
I mean, it's got to get better, right? Like,
it does. But
especially now that Braun Breaker and Cora Jade are,
moving up. Oh, they're banging each other? Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, that's the word on the street. Wrestling TMZ over here.
I mean, that's fun, I guess, for them. They're like,
she's so tiny.
He's so big.
He's so large.
Maybe he's not big in the pants. I mean, I'm just saying. Look, tiny women maybe don't need. Maybe his pants are a little baggy in the crotchal region. I don't know. I don't want to see his penis. So like maybe I don't.
60% of the time, it works
every time.
Every time.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody's penis. So like, I don't know.
So
he's either got a baby arm or he's got a like. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I hope they're happy. Maybe they're probably very lovely people, and they maybe like are very lovely together. They're both. Yeah. They're like he's what, like 24, and she's like 21.
They're both super young. I mean,
like they're children. So like they're within. They're in their early 20s, and if they find.
Were you a child when you were 24?
Kinda.
Did you think you were a child when you were 24?
No, I was a dickhead when I was 24, Walt. I'm
still a dickhead, so like,
I mean, it was palatable when I was unpalatable at 24. I might be palatable now at fucking 37.
I mean, you're an acquired taste, pal.
I mean, but it's delicious once you acquire it.
Of course. Absolutely. Just like me, I'm an acquired taste.
But
you know what I mean?
Such a delicious. Come and
it's okay. I get it. Listen, my wife hasn't even acquired that taste yet. So, I mean, we've been married almost 4 years at this point. Like,
Rachel and I actually passed not to break away from wrestling. 13 years married this month.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Last week was your anniversary.
13 years. Yeah, we did.
God
That's
bless.
actually
God bless.
No, it was
Rachel.
it was actually that's why we couldn't go. No, it was her birthday on Monday.
Yes.
That's why we couldn't go. And we did actually do the show on our anniversary. Oh, Mox is back. Yeah, no, it's 13 years is a long time. And yes, God, how, man, just put up with so much bullshit with me. So much. Like, I could, like if I had to come up with a list of, like, the amount of bullshit that my wife has put up with me, it's like, everybody would be like, man, I'm gonna, like, nominate her for sainthood or, like.
But I'm with you on that one. I mean, you know what you deal with me. Hey, so I got two more things I want to touch on, and then we're gonna hit match of the week. The first one is
Derek not coming back.
I don't know. He's still there. He's just not there.
He's not coming back. All right.
Anyways, so tonight the Young Bucks are in the Trios tournament, and you're watching, and I'm assuming that's probably going to be the main event.
They haven't come out yet.
That's going to be the main event. Kenny Omega coming back in Charleston, West Virginia?
No, I don't think so, because
I think that Kenny Omega is absolutely coming back in Charleston, West Virginia. Charleston, West Virginia was like the 4th Dynamite ever.
So, God, Charleston, West Virginia. Charleston, West Virginia.
We should have fucking went, is what should have happened.
That's a long drive, and I got to work tomorrow.
I tried. I got to work tomorrow too, bud. I tried.
That's a long.
I'd have drove. You could have slept.
I mean, on the way home, man, that's so, like,
we fucked up.
Maybe
we should have went. But anyways, Kenny Omega, he's rumored to be ready to go. Is tonight the night? It has to be. It has to be.
Maybe. I mean, so, God, Charleston, West Virginia. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't expect things to happen in Charleston, West Virginia. But, like,
I mean, we did get Daniel Garcia versus Daniel.
And we just got, so this whole show has been Punk versus Mox. And then, like, Danielson and Garcia went, like, the rest of the time. Like, that's it. Like, Jericho showed up with the Jericho Appreciation Society. These are the only other wrestlers we've seen tonight, and it's 9:00. This is a 2-hour show. Yeah. So it's, they
got a tape Rampage.
Rampage is an hour long, and nobody watches it. So I don't know what Pac's going to come out, and he's going to squash somebody who's international. I don't know.
Some chooch.
He's going to squash some chooch, and that's the end of it. God, Pac, you fucking chooch. I don't know. Should we have gone? Honestly, after having seen what's been going on here, maybe, because it's literally been all stars, like, and we're an hour in. But only if we could have gotten, like, oh man, Ricky Steamboat's there. There's Ricky Steamboat. He just slept.
Yeah, he was there. I heard there was a rumor that he was there.
It's the Varsity Blondes. It's the Varsity Blondes. Where are these
couple of chooches?
I have not seen these chooches in a long time, truthfully.
Hey, did you see that Julia? Listen, sidebar. Julia Hart followed Lana on Twitter today, right? And Lana took a screenshot of it, tweeted it out, and said, "Yeah, all the way to my husband," because it said Julia Hart has followed you. And then she screenshotted it, tweeted it, and said, "Yes, all the way to my husband." That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't like it. Oh, it's the Ass Boys. Okay, so the Ass Boys and
you.
So the Ass Boys and wow, this is like, I'm so disappointed so far because the only storyline they've kept up on is really the, like, main event title storyline, the World Championship. However, like,
good, but that's good though because the World Championship hasn't been their focus.
No, it hasn't been. But like, what the fuck? What? Why would I watch this shit week to week if it's like, oh, it's a totally different show? It's like watching like The Simpsons, where like the last episode didn't matter. Where it's like the last episode didn't matter. You can watch any random episode of The Simpsons in any season ever, and it doesn't matter because they're all self-contained. That's real. Like, this is AEW is The Simpsons of wrestling. Everything is self-contained. There's no reason to watch like week to week. It's almost like they're trying for syndication, but like, or Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld of wrestling.
That's fair. Like, yeah, I get behind that.
Anyway, it's I don't feel like that's the theory of a live TV show, but anyway.
So I got one more thing to touch on, and then you and I'll just go into match of the week if Derek's not back from telling his daughter she's a fish. That's a whole thing, by the way. We can talk about it off air. So do you remember last week when we talked about, we kind of touched on Vince McMahon?
Oh, we touched on him? Like, at least he didn't touch us.
And they were talking about how the WWE board had discovered, the investigation had discovered an additional $5 million in misappropriated funds. Do you remember talking about that very briefly?
Yeah. Yes, vividly.
So I'm about to piss you off, and I'm glad.
Please do.
That I get to be the man that gets to piss you off. WWE Investigation Board discovers $5 million in question was paid to Donald Trump's charity in 2007 and 2009.
Bang. All right, so you want my unfiltered opinion on this?
Well, I mean, it is still our most viewed video in the history of the show.
Fuck Donald Trump. Man, I hope that Donald Trump goes to prison.
He's not. He's going to get reelected as president in 2024.
And I'm going to move to like fucking Ireland. Really, seriously, like let's let some beautiful redhead ruin my son's life.
Well, if you don't like America, you can get out.
If they reelect Donald Trump, I really don't like America.
That's going to be comments. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, if they reelect Donald Trump, I really don't like him.
Everybody's just going to write his ass in. That's what's going to happen.
I vehemently dislike Donald Trump. This isn't a new thing. Like, I very much dislike him from the standpoint of, like, just as a human being. Like, God, if, like, his brutal murder could be, like, on pay-per-view, I would buy that pay-per-view for whatever it cost. And I would like TiVo it and, like, rewind it and slow-mo it. Fuck this guy. Like, fuck Donald Trump. However, let's move on to Vince McMahon and his like $5 million to the Trump, like, fake, not really like fund. God, I can't believe that's like not even like. Why would you not report that? Right? Like, why would you not report it? Because it's clearly like it's a charity. Now it's a charity for like it's a charity. It's his own charity. It's like. I need charity to buy a golden toilet. I don't know why Vince McMahon would buy Donald Trump a golden toilet. It really doesn't make sense to me.
Huge.
I don't really know what to say. It's one of those things that's so like, maybe he paid $5 million to punch Donald Trump in the face.
Well, all I'm going to say is that your dividend receivers are pissed off about this.
But, like, fuck them, too. God. Can they, like, also be mad at Trump about, like, God, it's like.
I mean, at least it didn't go to hookers, pal. You got to think about it that way.
No, so, like, it maybe probably would have been better off with, like, sex workers, like hookers. Like, hookers probably would have, like, been better recipients of money. I mean, even if they were like addicted to drugs, like it's just,
I like drugs.
it's so like addicted to like fucking crack and heroin and whatever.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's so, all this is so gross and yucky. Like, can you like talking about this feels yucky? Does that make sense? And it's like,
yes.
It's yucky. And I hope that everybody suffers for this. That's really where I am. I hope there's a lot of suffering. So if Vince suffers, fine. If Trump suffers, fine. Like, good. Like I hope there's suffering. And I hope I get to watch the suffering, because I would love to watch this. Watching suffering actually of people like this really like it brings me joy. It really does. Do you remember when after January 6th, like there were a lot of videos of like people just getting arrested and crying. Yes. Oh my god, I watched every one of those videos multiple times.
When they pulled Bantar off the Southwest plane?
Yeah, oh my god, I love God. Oh man, buddy, like
and his mom said he's starving to death because they don't have organic food.
Yeah, all of that. All of that, God, it like just thinking about it is euphoric. It really is. It's one of those things that's like,
like, listen, I wouldn't be mad at that dude if he didn't look like fucking Mantar.
You know no, like I'm not mad at him.
I don't give a fuck. Like, because I don't follow.
Man, his suffering is delicious. God, it's so delicious.
Like, if he'd have just been a normal dude.
You know, no, even the normal dudes, they're suffering.
They look like Mantar.
Their suffering is like, I just hope. I hope this leads to delicious suffering, so that I can watch and just like absorb it as like I'm a bad person, Walt. Like I need that to be known. I'm a bad person who likes to watch the suffering of my God, I love to watch people suffer who I think are just fucking dickheads. Like, God, I hope I get to watch their suffering. I just like, I would tune in, I would pay for that on pay-per-view to watch their suffering. And I hope I get to see that suffering. And yeah, so hopefully this leads to suffering that I'm enjoying. That's all I have to say about it.
I mean, at least it didn't go to hookers. That's all I'm saying.
Like that would have been a little more sympathetic. I feel like yes, I agree with you. At least it didn't go to hookers, because that would make it sympathetic. It would impede my satisfaction and my enjoyment of the suffering. So I just want to watch the suffering without any like sort of strings attached. I just want to see bad people get what they deserve on live television. And I feel like I'm probably going to continue to get that because it's been so delicious and it's made me so happy. And I just want more. I need more.
It's like the chicken teriyaki, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Give me more stuff.
Tom, match of the week, bud.
The only one here. Okay, so I have two.
But you always go first.
But like, okay, you're right. All right, so I have two things to talk about. One, I do want to talk about the opening segment, the opening match of Dynamite last week, not the one that's airing right now, but last week. So it was Brody King versus Darby Allin in a coffin match, which coffin matches are very 90s cool for me. This one had blood, which was like, I don't know that anybody ever bled in a coffin match before, but like they did it anyway. However, the finish, and this isn't really my match of the week. This is sort of my like, guys, so cool. Like I have to mention it. At the end, like Darby is choking out Brody King with a chain. And then, like, he lets him go or, like, bounces him off the ring to let him go. And he bounces off, like, the outside ropes and, like, rolls perfectly into the coffin, and the lid shuts as he hits it, and it's just so smooth, and it's so cool. And like I don't know that they planned it that way, but it worked out absolutely perfectly. So I feel like I need to like make a comment about it because it was so fucking cool. It was so fucking cool that like Brody King just fell into that, and the lid shut to the coffin. It was
great finish.
So fucking cool. That was a great finish. But the actual match of the week was actually the kickoff match to Raw. It was the tag team match between Doudrop and Nikki ASH versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss. And man, it just was so good. And they got like 20 minutes.
It sounds like a squash match waiting to happen.
No. It was not a squash. It was a very big time back and forth. It was really, really good. Doudrop went for a Vader bomb and missed, but sold it perfect. Like she executed.
That's the do drop.
Whatever. It's a Vader bomb until I die. But anyway,
it's terrible.
No,
it's time.
It's
time.
It's Doudrop time.
It was fantastic. Anyway, the chemistry.
Tom, I'm not going to disagree. It was a great match.
It was. So to me, it's one like there were a lot of really good matches on Raw, but to me, this one stood out because they got so much in, and these are people who I've have sort of not gotten the spotlight they deserve for the last few months, despite their being on TV. They just didn't get what they deserved, and they really went out for it. They went all in, and there were no botches. Everything looked clean. It looked like a great fight. And it just looked good from start to finish, and they knocked it out of the park. And kudos to those four women because they really they kicked off the show, and I was locked in for literally the rest of the show. Like I was like, well, boom, locked in, and the rest of the show didn't disappoint either. So that was it. That's my match of the week.
Mark. Tom's a mark.
Hey guys,
Tom has been here.
Derek doesn't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Derek doesn't watch.
What's your match?
Well, apparently I heard that it was a side salad, let's say, of match of the week. The Brody King Darwin match.
Durbin match?
Whoa. Who the fuck is
Darwin? Darwin, like from like the guy who's like Darwin, like that Darwin, or are we talking like the fish from Gumball? We watched a lot of Gumball lately.
He said Darwin.
I heard Darwin.
I thought he said Durbin.
Derek, you watching? Did you leave us to watch? Do you leave us to watch Gumball? The Amazing World of Gumball.
I do like The Amazing World of Gumball.
Were you watching?
I also watch Adventure Time, Bob's Burgers, and Bluey. So I keep my bases spread.
Don't you disrespect the goddamn good name of Bluey?
Oh God, there's no way.
My daughter is 7, and she has been plowing through the new season.
My daughter better be 13, and I will be there before her.
The other day, listen, not to take away from Derek. The other day, we were sitting in the living room, and the boy goes, "Dad, I watch TV." I said, "You want to watch Bluey?" He goes, "No, Dino Trucks." I'm like, "Hey, bud."
Ooh, that one's bad.
Hey, bud, I don't want to watch that shit anymore. Can we watch Bluey? No, Dino Trucks.
Fuck. Dino Trucks is a little better than Dinosaur Train.
Hey, bud, it's not even really Dino Trucks. It's like an Amazon Prime show.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Go Dino Bots or some.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know what it is. It's
fuck my life.
But have you seen Dinosaur Train?
Yes.
That's worse.
I don't even know what you guys are watching. I'm still on Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's
okay.
Want
train stuff.
Hey, but you know what? You're not watching anything either. So I mean, what's your match of the week, there, bitch boy?
It was the opening match of Dynamite.
Oh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we already knew that
you
was
didn't
coming.
you didn't have an original idea. You had to take Tom's honorable mention.
No, I wasn't even here for
AEW.
Tom's original idea.
Well,
from what I understand, that was his side salad of ideas.
Tom, he wasn't here. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. Hey, bud, we've done the last like 40 minutes without you.
Yeah. I have things going on.
It's okay. They've been good minutes. So let's talk about your match of the week because it was a good match. It stole the blood thunder from the main event. However, like I pointed out, the finish was smooth.
Oh, it was dope.
Dope. Good, Derek. What'd you like about it?
What?
The match you liked. What did you like about it?
Oh, I thought you were going to. Well,
God,
guys, I'm very sorry. Yeah. So,
you know what I really liked about it was when like everybody got naked and like started beating off in the middle of the ring.
Sweet when my satellite went out and then it came back and then they were already about to start coming on the glass bottom coffee table. And whenever
Really
that
weird.
happened, yeah, this chick started shitting, and I knew it was on. Yeah.
Can't believe they cut each other with that. It was weird.
Yeah.
I hope they're all in the hospital. They haven't been on TV this week, so they're probably in the hospital from that.
Tony Schiavone came by about that point. Friend of the show, Tony Schiavone. And I was like, that's a glass bottom rotor if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I feel like they're all in the hospital after that because they haven't been on TV this week. Because of the shit in their open wounds and the cum, obviously. The cum
obviously,
and the shit
it kind of acts as a gluing material.
Wow.
You know, once you mix that with shit, it's on. It's just there's infection.
Yeah, and like infection is rampant. Just rampant. Yeah. So much infection.
I told my wife earlier today I'd appreciate if she would not fuck anybody in the near future so we don't get monkeypox. Yeah. I thought that was
maybe like not shit in your mouth after that. Like that would be. I feel like that's just too much exposure there.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like 3 Dairy Queens, 2 cups.
Like we're just going too far here. Walt's just gone.
There's about to be a human centipede of monkeypox, and I'm not trying to be part of it.
No. The rest of it's gonna wipe out the whole holler. Actually, it's gonna wipe out the whole holler.
Holler is gonna be fucked.
It's gonna be wiped out. It's like the human centipede monkeypox, like wiping shit into the open rashes. God, guys, fucking losers are king.
How do you do this? You sick bastards.
It burns. It burns.
It burns. So I don't want to live on the golf course anymore, Daddy.
It burns so much. Oh,
please let me have my own land.
Don't bring the kids into this.
Anyways, my match of the week was the match of the week. And Tom, I'm actually really surprised that this wasn't your match of the week. And that would be Gunther versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
It was really good.
Wow.
It was really good. I mean,
wow.
So I feel like it.
Shinsuke's the first person to take Walter to the fucking brink, right?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, yeah. Well, no, Ilya Dragunov actually beat him.
Tommaso Ciampa too, but
yeah, it was a rare occurrence, and no, it happened. It ended up exactly the way I thought it was going to, and it really like capped off a weeks long storyline, which is something that I really appreciate when like things are just like progressing. And no, it was really, really good. I'm not saying it wasn't, because like Ciampa versus AJ Styles was also really good. Like yes. to say like there was just like Raw was just too much this week, and it was just, and SmackDown too. It was just too much. There was just like oh, we're just gonna put on all the best wrestling matches, and it was like, well, fuck, I gotta pick one. And I felt like the tag match for me was just there were just more people involved, and they all did really good. So that's why I was just like, well, we're just gonna go with common denominators, just more. 4 people is just better because they all put on a great show. Yeah, it was just what a good week of wrestling. Like how to cap it off, like what do we just like? It's really hard to like criticize. Just like, man, we just watched like one of the greatest weeks of wrestling ever.
There was efforts on both sides of the coin this week,
and we experienced it as like a collective, and it was just like, man, wrestling was good this week, and there's really no like, I can't shit on anybody or like be mad at anybody because it was just like, wrestling's good. Let's just be good at wrestling, and everybody who's good at wrestling gets to be on TV this week, and there we go, and that's it.
So Tom says, I tried. That's
Anyways,
good.
Listen, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Okay,
come on now.
This has been an hour and 40-minute fucking train wreck.
I gotta watch Tony Storm wrestle somebody.
Oh, Tony Storm, yeah. Anywho, hey, listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We really
hold on. You remember how people used to watch TV or continue to watch TV in WWE? Like the TV is like their neck is. Thunder Rosa just watched TV like WWE. It was funny. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Check us out over on social media, both Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. Hey, guys, Tom, thanks for being here, bud.
Sorry I wasn't here on Monday. It was my wife's birthday.
No, it's okay.
I love her dearly.
Listen, we've all had things happen this year, right? Like that we've had to move away from Monday. But check us out, Mondays 7:30 every week, generally, unless I don't know, our wife's birthday or an anniversary, or Derek falls asleep on the couch.
Is Derek asleep right now?
7:30. He's asleep right now.
He's asleep.
Yeah, he's out.
Are you guys still doing the show? Are you not fucking done?
Good night, Derek.
I'm trying to buy a Sega Saturn off of eBay, bud. Are you finished?
Okay, get me one too.
Hey, you know what, bud? I found the most incredible fucking Jeep Road today.
I saw that, and then
I backed out.
Hold on.
I backed out of it to be home on time to do the fucking show.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even grace us with more than 22 minutes of your time tonight.
Listen to what some crazy people that are my neighbors out my way were doing. They're looking for butterflies.
Is that what they were farming for?
Yeah.
Monarch butterflies?
Monarch butterflies.
They're endangered. That's why. Hey, thank you very much. And as always, it's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.